Do you want to get into record collecting? Well, stay tuned and I will let you know what the best entry-level record player is. I would like to start out that I am not an expert on record players or record collecting. I'm a novice. I just enjoy collecting records and I just learned some things as I went. So I like to start out that I've been through 3 record players through the course of my record collecting. The first record player I purchased was a Best Buy. It was a record player that did not have a counterweight and it had the speakers built into the record player. It did its job, but the speakers did not sound great. The record player did not have any built-in outputs, so you could plug in different speakers. It was just like a all-in-one unit. So after that record player broke, I knew I wanted a record player that had built-in RCA outputs, so I can plug in speakers into it, and it also had a counterweight. Counterweight is very important with records because it will make them last longer. It's simple to think about. When you have a counterweight on the other side of the arm, the needle doesn't put as much pressure on a record, so these records will wind up lasting longer for you. So when you're looking for an entry-level record player, you want to get into record collecting, I would recommend finding a record player that has a built-in counterweight over, the looks of the record player. A lot of people that get into record collecting want to buy a record player that just looks good, looks sleek. You maybe will find a record player at like Urban Outfitters or something like this, but most of the time these entry level cheap record players do not have a counterweight, so you're going to wind up damaging these records over time. So if you actually want to collect them for a long period of time, I would recommend getting one with a counterweight. The next record player I purchased was a Newmark belt driven turntable. It was more of a DJ turntable style record player, but it did its job. It had RCA outputs, it was belt driven, and it had a counterweight. It didn't sound bad or anything, but when I decided to move to my new place, I wanted something more sleek, but also, with the features I mentioned, the built-in RCA so I can plug in my studio monitors and listen to music like that, and of course the counterweight. So I stumbled upon this Fluence Arty 80 record player. As you guys can see, it's very sleek, it looks good, it has some premium features, but it also has the features that you need. The counterweight, built-in preamp, it is belt driven, and of course it has RCA outputs. So the record player is made of wood, the actual plate that spins your record is made of metal, and it has an Audio-Technica cartridge in it. So it's a great turntable. Audio-Technica is one of the biggest brands in this market. But their turntables that have a counterweight usually start out at like $300. They're more, $300, $350. So for this turntable to have an Audio-Technica cartridge built into this turntable, it is awesome to see, and you're only paying $200. If I didn't mention, this record player is only $200 on Amazon. Some people even got it for a little cheaper, maybe like $170. But the current price I seen it's selling for $199. There's also a different version of this one. I think it's the RT81, which has a slightly better Audio-Technica cartridge in it, and it's that wood color turntable. As you guys can see, this one is more of that sleek black turntable. The 81 is that wood color veneer on top of the record player. So like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I am no expert, but I'll let you guys know what I love about this turntable. So the number one thing I love about it has this plastic cover on top. So the turntable I had before this didn't have any sort of cover. It was just, a DJ turntable style record player. So I have cats, and so all the cat hair would stick to the felt mat on top of the record player. So when I put my records on top of the mat, that hair would then transfer to the actual record, and the needle would get dirty from the dust and, all the particles flying out in the air. So I love that this has this plastic cover that you can just cover this turntable. It also comes with the adapter for the 7-inch records, so that's awesome to see that it comes with it. It has 2 speeds, 33 RPM and 45 RPM, so that's nice to see. And like we mentioned, it has a counterweight The arm is made of metal. It's like I think it's an aluminum arm. Don't hold me to it. Look at the specs. I will include it in the link. It has a built-in preamp, so on the back of it, you can switch back and forth the preamp or a line out. It also has an auto stop feature, which is awesome. The turntable I had before, the DJ style turntable, did not have an auto stop feature. So the record would just keep on spinning and skipping. I hate that sound, and I don't think it's good for the records. So this one just automatically stops when it gets to the end of the record. Some people say that's also not very good for the record, for the needle just to be sitting on a record, but when it stops, you can just go up to the record player and lift the needle up off the record, and you don't have to hear that skipping sound while the record spins at the end. So like I said, this record is awesome, and I recommend it for any novice record collector that wants to get into collecting. I will include the Amazon link for this record below. You guys can check out all the specs, and if you're trying to get into record collecting, I recommend getting this record player. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe. Please like this video. If you guys have any questions on this record player, please leave me a comment, and I'll try and answer to the best of my knowledge. Thank you for watching.